What up, y'all? Welcome to the Texas Sports Unfiltered post-game show. I am Zay Collier, joined by my man, R Rodney Rodriguez. Texas Sports Unfiltered post-game show brought to you by Covert Bee Cave and Audio-Visual Consultations. Yeah, brutal. The Longhorns go down to the Georgia Bulldogs, 35-10. They are now 7-3 overall, 4-2 in the SEC, and man, R, it was ugly. You know, I thought Texas was going to lose this game, but I did not expect it to go down like this. It's weird because there were times where Texas was in the game. You know, you score, Ryan Wingo gets some redemption on that, little slant in the goal line. It's 14-10. You're feeling good. And then all of a sudden, the winds out of the sails just come undone. This team just completely implodes. Kirby Smart does what he does best, and that's just have Steve Sarkisian's number. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's just one of those things. Sometimes guys just got your number, and Kirby Smart's one of the best to ever do it. He shows that. Time in, time out. Steve Sarkisian, there's just things that he ain't ready for. And Kirby catches them off guard. It seems like a lot. I'm really tired of this friendship bullshit that's going on with Kirby Smart and Sark. Like, you need to block his number. His number. Because Kirby's playing mind games with Steve Sarkisian at this point. Texting him before the Mississippi State game. Y'all thought I was bugging. Y'all thought I was tripping. On Monday, everybody's like, oh, Zay, there you're reaching. Zay conjuring again. Zay, here he goes, being dramatic. Nah, damn that. That's weird. That's weird behavior. When you have a game that has nothing to do with Texas the week prior, you're playing against Mississippi State. Very disrespectful to Mississippi State and Jeff Levy, by the way, who they beat down. But Kirby Smart said, you know what? I'm just going to see what Sark's doing. Just see what he's doing. He made it seem like he texted them about
the road, getting there and all that shit.
Commute from wherever the hell you stay in Mississippi to get to Starkville. Fuck that. Yeah. I'm sorry, Mama, for my language. No, I'm pissed off because that's bullshit. That's bullshit. He's playing mind games with you, Sark. And you need to just straight up realize this guy's not my friend. We could be cordial, but he has his number on me, and that's not okay. 35-10, that's embarrassing, man. The onside kick, embarrassing. You got to get off the field. 2 fourth down conversions, you got to get off the field. The first one, I understand a little bit. That's a good play, the little play action, check down to the fullback. Okay, we'll let that slide. But then Colin Simmons jumps off sides. It's just, I get the refs were tripping, but at the end of the day, those Georgia Bulldogs, they make plays, and when Texas needs to, they don't. And I don't see this team making the college football playoff, even if they beat A&M. They needed Oklahoma to lose today. Oklahoma didn't do that. So now Oklahoma only has 2 losses. Texas has 3. I don't expect Oklahoma to lose to Missouri or LSU to end the season. So, yeah, if you're Texas, you got a grand opportunity tonight and you failed miserably. It was a tough watch, R.
Yeah, man. And you're totally right about this Kirby thing, because I was talking about this during the week, because you listen to Kirby and, he makes the phone call and all that bullshit that you're talking about. But then he's talking about how great of a coach that Sark is and how great the program is and all this shit. And I mean, all week it was people talking about Texas is so great, the Georgia people, and it's like, man, they're just setting it up to whip ass again. And I seriously thought I picked Texas to win this game. I thought it would be a better prepared Texas team coming into this game, and it's like all of the progress that you saw in the last 6-7 quarters of football just out the window. And it is. I mean, Kirby Smart has Steve Sarkisian's number. I mean, you see Sark on the sidelines, and that dude looks like he saw a ghost. It's like that dude is shell shocked, and that's, you got out coached, you got beat in every phase of the game. This team didn't look prepared. Every strength that you thought that you had that was going to come back and help you be a factor in this game. None of that shit mattered, Zay. And I was, going to the mat saying Texas can still get in to the playoff as a 3-loss team with a respectable loss. Well, that sure as fuck wasn't respectable right now. That was a beat down.
It's a beat down, man. Yeah, and Gunnar Stockton, man, he could play. Like, we talked about it all week. I know it's not the most flashy, but the dude gets it done. The dude has moxie. The dude is smart. Like, kudos to Anthony Hill for that interception that he had, because the Gunnar Stockton, he doesn't turn the ball over much. But, when you go 24 for 29, you got 5 total touchdowns, 4 through the air, 1 on the ground. You got to give his respect there. I did not like the way Pete Kwiatkowski started out with this defense early on. I thought he was very timid. I thought the calls were very conservative. This secondary, man, we know that they need an Achilles heel for this defense, but Pete Kwiatkowski, you got to call tighter coverage to start the game. It was just too loose.
Yeah.
That there's plays where you're getting pressure on guys, but when there's pressure coming, everybody knows, okay, I'm a quarterback. I got to get the ball out of my hands quick before the pressure gets here. So if you're too far backed up with your corners and stuff, it negates the whole point of sending extra guys to get in the backfield. What's the point if you're backed up that far where the quarterback could throw it short enough to keep the chains moving? That happened way too much early on. And then all of a sudden you started to turn it up, and then you finally saw something click, with the defense, where they started getting stops and you felt a lot better about it. So much so where it's 14-10.
14-10, yeah.
Got all the momentum in the world. And to end the third quarter, to start the fourth, you got to get off the field. Both fourth down plays, which, again, this is Kirby Smart, to what you said, Double R. This is Kirby Smart out-coaching Steve Sarkisian. To go for it when you're on this side of the field, the first one, he was on, I want to say, the 36-yard line. That's balls, man. It's 4th and 1. You got some serious cojones going for it there. Then 4th and 5. 4th and 5, and Mike Bobo, who outcoached.
That dude was great, man.
Mike Bobo
that dude was great.
From turning it up from tempo to slowing it down to turning it up real quick, then slowing it down, just playing chess out there. It was a complete just domination from the coaching standpoint. Offense, defense, special teams. Jeff Banks, man, I don't know what to tell you, bro. You can't have those problems when the onside kicks come in and you need the ball back, because it's 21-10 at that point. I think if Texas scores, you make it 21-17, you still got some juice going. But that onside kick, that was it, Double R. That was the play of the game by far. That was the play of the game, because it took all the energy, and it was just such a deflating, haymaking gut punch for this Texas team that was fighting. I'll give it to Texas. They fought, but hey, you can fight against another team, and if that other team is more prepared than you and more disciplined than you, how many penalties Georgia have tonight? Just one?
One.
How many Texas have?
One.
For 58 yards. Like, that's coaching. That's coaching. That is the just simple difference right there from a coaching standpoint. Kirby Smart, a guy who's won multiple national championships, had his team ready. Steve Sarkisian, I can't say the same for him.
No, absolutely. And it really was to where the defense, even though like where we talk about with the secondary, and look, man, I love Dwayne Akina as much as the next guy. But when they brought him back, I'm like, okay, we're kind of taking a step back here, in my opinion. Let's be progressive here. And I have applauded Steve Sarkisian with the way that he has built this staff, in his tenure here, and how he's kept, the core of that staff in place, and how the improvement. But I was just not a fan of that move right now. And where we're watching this secondary leaky and confused, and I would totally get it, Zay. I could totally get it where you got Mookie Taft coming back, and with the attrition that you've had, but you had a fucking week to get ready for this. and to come out and to lay this kind of egg, and still your defense keeps you in the middle of this. And this is where we talked about, I mean, probably the second or third, fourth pregame show that we did all in a row, to where it's like your defense is going to keep you in position to win games. But at some point you're going to run into somebody that their offense is a hell of a lot better than what you've been facing. And they are just they're going to destroy you. And that's what happened. And to watch the wheels fall off from that end of the third quarter, from the 2 fourth down conversions with the onside kick, to watch that, man, that was like watching a train wreck, dude. It just falls apart. And that's where I go into this wondering, I'm like, how do you rebound from that? And still, I heard the guy, they're probably going to beat Arkansas. I don't know if they're going to beat Arkansas at this point. I don't know
either. Yeah.
It's like,
I don't know. You can still go 7-5.
Yeah, absolutely. And
still go 7-5. And
this is where we go back to with the penalties. And I get it, man. I saw it, but you see it on both sides. There's holding on every play. There's holding on every play. Texas is not going to get the calls. I mean, it's just not going to happen. But it's those damn pre-snap penalties, man. It's like, now look, I mean, you can say that the officiator, the officials are contributing to this, but the pre-snap shit, that's hard to not see. That's really hard to not see. And it was just like going back to the beginning of the season tonight, man. And I'm like, how can this be happening right now when you seem to be making the steps and you just reverted totally back to what you were doing at the beginning of the year when nobody had any faith in this team whatsoever?
Yeah. And, there's just a lot of misses with this coaching staff and their evaluation on this team. From an O-line standpoint, I get it. You make the move. Cole Hudson, Connor Robinson, both of those guys got dominated tonight. Georgia, I get it's Georgia, but we saw the stats. They're one of the worst teams in the nation when it comes to getting pressures and sacks. And, of course, tonight they got all that. Of course. And this is the out-coach shit again. How can you tell me Kirby Smart, Glenn Schumann, defensive coordinator for Georgia, they're struggling to get pressures on everyone else. Everyone else in the SEC. Look at the stats. They're like 128th in pressures, in the 120s. There's only 130 freaking teams in the college football. So why against Texas?
Yeah.
Why are the pressures here? Why? Which Arch, again, another salute to Arch, a guy that is just trying his best. He can't help for all those drops that happened in the first half. I know Ryan Wingo redeemed himself in the way, but still, Ryan Wingo, if you put 7 on the board on that first drive, that gives the game a different feel than it would if you put up 3, because Georgia came back that next drive and they put up 7 like that. Yeah. So the drops, man, there was a drive where there were 3 straight drops in a row.
Yep.
It was Ryan Wingo down the field. You got to catch that. I get it. It's a deep ball. You're getting paid a lot of money to be at Texas. You got to catch it. Then you go to Jordan Washington. He drops an easy little, just route up the seam. Then you get DeAndre Moore, which all 3 were dimes by Arch Manning.
Yeah.
Even Arch Manning's interception, DeAndre Moore was held there.
Yeah, that was pass interference.
Come on, man. That's a bad no call right there. Again, the refs, they weren't great tonight, but shit. Sometimes you got to make plays. In Texas, they didn't make enough. And I love Jalen Gilbo. I think him at the star nickel position these last few years, he has been solid. He has been reliable. He's not a good outside corner. He's just not. You go back to the Vanderbilt game where he was a part of the play where it was just a broken coverage where Eli Stowers had the touchdown down the field and it was wide ass open. Jalen Gilbo was a part of that. Then you go tonight, him and Mookie Taft, which Mookie Taft, if he's messing up on communication assignments, then know it's a shit game. But who was involved with that? Jalen Gilbo. It's always Jalen Gilbo. Even those other folks might be involved, Jalen Gilbo's always involved too. Yeah. Of just broken coverage stuff. Like Manny Muhammad doesn't get tested much. And I was talking about this last year with Manny when John A. Barron was there. Manny was the weak link. People went after Manny. Manny upped his game, and now people are going after the other side away from Manny Muhammad. So whether that's Cade Phillips, who got on the touchdown, Warren Roberson, Jalen Gilbo, either way, to your Dwayne Akina comment, those guys, they're a liability. And the secondary, who was so good last year, one of the best with, Makuba and Barron and obviously Mookie Taft. This year, it hasn't been that consistently enough. And now that there's a whole bunch of film out there, these coaches, these offensive coordinators, they're seeing those weak spots and they're exploiting them. Mississippi State did that with Jeff Lebby. The following week, Eli Stowers and Diego Pavia did that with Vanderbilt. And then Gunnar Stockton did his thing tonight against Texas, with Georgia's offense, and only 19 yards running for Texas. That ain't going to cut it. 23 yards for Texas on the ground. 1.4 yards. This reminds me of last year. Both teams were not able to establish any type of running game. And it wasn't like a Trevian Wiseman was running bad. He had that one bad run where he went backwards for 7 or 8 yards. But other than that, he was running the ball decently. It's just Sark gave up on it, which he felt obligated to throw the ball more because they were kind of playing catch up. But 23 yards, that's not going to cut it against anybody, yet alone the Georgia Bulldogs. When you become one-dimensional like that, offensively, you play right into Kirby Smart's hands, and that's why the score is 35-10 at the end of the day.
And this is where it goes back to Kirby having Sark's number. I mean, last year, what did we talk about in those post games? You can't run the ball. 36 yards in one game, 23. I mean, and I really liked, especially on that first drive when Texas had to settle for the field goal, when they came out with the scripted plays. I'm like, okay, we're going to see a little bit of variance in this offense tonight because they were doing some different things, running the ball a little bit, kind of spreading it around. But then you go back to, like you're talking about, you totally abandon the run. You give up on it before you actually realize that it's not going to work. So you start doing that and you start swinging these passes out to the outside. They know that's coming. And they bottle that shit up. And then that's when all the drops start. And it just totally takes it one dimensional. And with the offensive line, it really was, because I thought that one of the real intangibles going into this game tonight, Zay, was going to be, because with everything that's been said about Texas, squeaking by and winning games ugly, Georgia has been winning games ugly. Georgia hasn't gone out and dominated anybody until tonight. Tonight they really dominated Texas, but they've been winning that way also. But that's where they just kick it into a different level. That goes back to coaching. That goes back to being better prepared. And just for the life of me, the most disappointing factor to me, other than the fact that you lost and the way that you lost, was, damn it, I really thought that if you had a whole week to prepare for this, nobody on the injury report. There's nobody on the injury report for the first time. Look at this. And Georgia has all these people on the injury report. You go out there, it looked like half of Texas was injured the way they played tonight. And that's, I for the life of me, I cannot figure out how you can't overcome and be more competitive against these guys. And it would be one thing that the talent's not the factor. It goes back to what we're saying. The coaching and the development is just still not there when it counts. When it counts against Georgia, when it counts against Ohio State, when it counts against Washington, that's when all this shit is painfully obvious. No more ever than tonight.
Yeah, just those big games, man. If you want to be on the mountaintop, you just got to win them, point blank, period. And Steve Sarkisian, he just hasn't been able to. And that onside kick, that's going to haunt Sark and Jeff Banks for years. Because even when Georgia goes up 21-10, you're like, okay, this offense at least has found a groove. You know what I mean? It's very deflating to get back-to-back fourth down conversions on you. But still, the offense has found a groove. You go back and score. It's now 21-17. We in a whole different ball game after that. You don't even get a chance to, because they catch you off guard. Again, just like they caught you off guard last year with the punt, the fake punt in the SEC championship game, which that was the play of the game for Georgia. You get the ball back there. If you're Texas, you put yourself in a big time position to win the game. So Kirby Smart, you see how excited that fool was when they got the onside kick. That's not friendship, Sark. We're friends and stuff. Like, maybe he has to say that, but ain't no way I'm blocking every single coach during the season. We could talk off season about what we want when it comes to improvement with college football and the SEC conference. That's fine. But you ain't going to be able to get into contact with me during the season when you're whooping my ass like that. I'm sorry. Maybe this is some old school shit in me. Maybe that's just, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm bugging, Double R. I really don't. Like, that shit really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because if you're a competitor, if I hear that as a recruit, I have a problem with that. Like, if my kid is over here and they're getting recruited by Georgia and they're getting recruited by Texas, I want that guy in Athens. You know what I'm saying? I want, because that guy, he ain't got no heart. He loves his team. He loves Georgia football. He played at Georgia. But for everybody else, he don't got no heart for them. You see what he did to Sonny Dykes in the championship game? They ran up the score on Sonny.
Yeah.
Ran up the score. One of the worst championship games you're ever going to see in your life. Kirby Smart has no heart, man. And I say that in the most respectful way. I need my coach like that. I need my coach that petty and just straight up, no pun intended, dogging them.
Yeah.
Dogging them.
Yeah.
That speech that he probably threw out to those guys yesterday or before the game, you telling me they didn't play with any more bulletin board material emotion out there, knowing that Arch Manning probably called Kirby Smart and said, hey, Kirby, thank you for recruiting me. Thank you for everything you did for me. But I am choosing Steve Sarkisian over you.
Yep.
Kirby Smart was probably like, all right.
Yep.
All right. Be careful what you're doing, because when you play us, it's going to be hell. And I'm sure he told his players that. He chose Austin, Texas over you guys, to his players in the locker room. So, Kirby just presses all the right buttons. Steve Sarkisian, he ain't even on the same stratosphere as Kirby Smart, and now he's 3-0. And a lot of question marks for this Texas team, which, in my opinion, this is a lost season, which is really sad with all the talent that you got out there.
And Zay, that's the thing about it, to where we talk about Kirby and like we talk about the phone calls and all this. He's such a good salesman too, man. He's such a good salesman. He's doing this shit, and Sark is just, you know. Did you see him after the game? Those two are out there. I was gonna get the water hose on them, man. It's like, how are we gonna break these guys up? They're sitting there hugging all over each other. I'm like, Sark, that dude just whipped your ass again, ruined your season, and you're sitting over there. Hell, he did everything but run his fingers around his neck and shit. I'm like, what is this, man? What in the hell is this going on? You get, I mean, the dude has his number. He's in a totally different, like you said, totally different stratosphere, and that's what makes that program so good. That's what makes that program so good. And it's like Nick Saban, in the down years of Nick Saban, you start thinking, oh man, well, you know, and then they come out and they do this kind of shit. And that's where Kirby learned this shit from. That's how these, that's how these coaches become that good. Yeah. And you know, I was telling Wags during the week, I said, Bama has Kirby's number, and he's like, well, that doesn't matter. I said, yes, it does, because my point is that Kirby has Sark's number, and I don't. It's getting worse. Yeah, it's getting worse.
Yeah,
you know, and when I heard during the week, it's like, well, you know, they may meet again. They're not going to meet again. Not this year. They're not going to meet again this year.
No, it would have to be in the SEC championship somewhere in the future, but yeah, it might be a long while before Steve Sarkisian gets his get back, or gets a chance to get his get back.
He ain't gonna beat him, Zay. He can't beat him. I mean, he might beat him. He might beat him at I don't know, horse. I mean, maybe he'll beat him
golf.
At that.
Yeah, golf.
Yeah. In a sharp dressed man contest or some shit like that, you know, GQ contest, he might beat him at that, but he ain't gonna fucking beat him in football. Yeah, there's no way.
And Kirby, man, like, he's a defensive coach. Like, he coaches like that. You know what I mean? Like, being an offensive coach is cool, but when you have a defensive guy in there, like his mentality is to rip your heart out and eat it right in front of you.
Yeah.
And that's how his guys play. That's why there's so many Bulldogs in the National Football League, because they just get it. They play the game the right way. Got to give Glenn Schumann a lot of credit. I'm glad they show him a lot on that sideline too. That dude, he's a very young, up-and-coming coach in the business, still like a 90s baby. That dude, I know Kirby gets a lot of credit, as he should, but you got to have really good assistants around you. And that's another thing, Double R, like the assistants for Steve Sarkisian this year. How well are they doing? Because you talk about Jeff Banks, you get exposed. I know Ryan Niblett has made Jeff Banks look really good this year, but you got exposed today on the onside kick. And don't forget, Jeff Banks is also the tight ends coach at the University of Texas. This is one of the worst tight end groups I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
Like Jack Indries has been so underwhelming. So we thought he was going to be Gunnar Helm. We thought he would have a big time season, because in Steve Sarkisian's offense, the way that the tight ends utilize, how can you not have a good season? This dude misses blocks. Like he doesn't, make big time catches when you need him. Like I've never seen a more relevant tight end group for a Steve Sarkisian ball club than I have this year. And that's very disappointing, because again, with everything that the tight end can bring to a Steve Sarkisian offense, to not have that utilized or not have that be an option to really exploit a defense with, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you do with that? And then like Chad Scott, the new running back coach that, he came in like, and the running backs, they don't look good. I don't know if it's an injury thing or it's just straight up because of the offensive line not being very good, which makes me bring up Kyle Flood. Like, not good. Offensive line just, again, 23 yards on the ground. You're playing against, I know it's Georgia. I know they got the G on their helmet, but
they haven't been that good along the front.
They are not good at pressuring a quarterback. They are not good at creating sacks.
Right.
And they were in the backfield, it seemed like, all day tonight. So it's frustrating, man. Like, it's really frustrating. And you got to be able to win the big games. Like Tashard Choice, he was a big deal, and he goes off to Detroit. You bring in Chad Scott and the running backs. Like, we don't see James Simon. We don't see Christian Clark. Like, you stop really running it with Contravian Wisener, even though he's doing some positive things. It's like when he ran backwards on that play, Sark just gave up on it.
Yep.
He just completely gave up on it.
Yep.
And again, I thought Arch Manning was good tonight. As bad as the thing was, I thought Arch Manning was as good as he could be with what the offense was providing, from a blocking standpoint to guys dropping passes, the penalties. It's just, Georgia's already good enough to beat you when you play good football. If you beat yourself,
you can't help them
and things, like, you're going to get curb stomped like you did tonight. 35-10. So
Zay, and this right here, kind of back to this point with the onside kick. Souls is talking about who actually saw the onside kick coming. You know something is coming. That's been talked about during the week. It happens every time you play this team. They're going to do something. You have to be prepared on every kick. You have to be prepared on every punt, because they're going to do something. And I think that, again, this is just a masterful job of Georgia, and what Kirby Smart does. He felt that momentum. That momentum's going towards Texas at that point, and he's like, shit, they think that they're about to make a charge at us. Watch this. And that was it.
You're right. You're right, Double R. Like, you got to understand the team that you're facing and the coaching staff that you're facing, a coach that just is cold-blooded, that is willing to take risks, that plays to win like Kirby Smart does. So, like you said, every kick, every punt, you got to have your heads on the swivel. And for them not to be prepared for that, you're getting paid too much money not to be prepared for that. That's what I would say. Like, you're getting paid way, because for one, you shouldn't be returning kicks much anyway. Like, they fair catch everything to begin with. So what are you really doing from a kickoff standpoint? I could care less about somebody trying to take that thing to the crib. We haven't seen it all year. I don't know when's the last time we've seen a kickoff return from a Jeff Banks special teams. So let me put more closer to the action so we could avoid anything a little sketchy like we saw. And again, coaching staff out-coached, just flat out coach. So
Zay, and I have to tell you, this is what I don't understand with the offense, where it seems like time after time over the last 3 or 4 years, you see where they try something. I'm not talking about the running game, but I'm going to allude to the running game with this point. You try something over and over and over, it doesn't work, and then you pop a play, and it's like, okay, it finally works. It finally works the 6th or 7th time, and it's like you keep going back to it. But they just will not stick with the running game whatsoever if it doesn't work immediately. You know what I mean? And it's like, I really did think that when the game started that you were going to be able to run the ball, because this front, like you said, this front was susceptible to somebody running the ball on them. And it's just the lack of effort and going away from it. It's just like that fast. You know, one play doesn't work, we can't do that anymore. But yet you're going to try this little outside screen thing 6 or 7 times and gain a yard and just keep going back to it. It's so damn frustrating to watch for a team and for a head coach, because look, head coach, offensive coordinator, he's both of them. For somebody that is supposed to be so offensive minded that he can call amazing games, and still you get to this, and here we are again talking about the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating. The Texas Longhorns go down to the Georgia Bulldogs 35-10. The Horns are now 7-3 overall, 4-2 in the SEC. The Texas Sports Unfiltered Postgame Show is brought to you by Covert Bee Cave and Audiovisual Consultations. He is R. Rodney Rodriguez. I am Zay Collier. Let's get you a scoreboard update of all of college football today, brought to you by Gobundance. Texas football built on legends, from Darrell K. Royal setting the standard, to Mac Brown bringing home a natty, to Vince Young and Colt McCoy leading by example. The Longhorn way is more than talent. It's about discipline, brotherhood, and rising to the occasion. And that's the same spirit that Gobundance rides with, a community of high-achieving men, business professionals, and leaders and investors that help push each other to win, not only in business, but in life. So be a part of the Gobundance team. Go to www.gobundance.com/TSU and sign up to Gobundance today. So college football today, scoreboard update. Probably the craziest game of the day was Texas A&M getting the 31-30 victory over the South Carolina Gamecocks. They were down 30-3 at half and come all the way back, 28 unanswered points. Brutal win for Texas fans hate watching A&M. But hey, Mike Elko, after that extension, gets it done to stay undefeated, 10-0, 7-0 in the SEC. A huge game today, especially for Texas, because they needed this game to go the opposite way. But Oklahoma got a huge win in Tuscaloosa, 23-21 against Alabama. Oklahoma's now 8-2 overall, 4-2 in the SEC. They needed Texas to lose today, and they got that wish. Lane Kiffin and the Rebels keep on rolling, beating Florida 34-24 in the tight game. Notre Dame, who looks like they've sealed their college football playoff berth by winning against Pittsburgh today, 37-15. Miami beats NC State 41-7. Georgia Tech beats Boston College 36-34. USC gets Iowa 26-20. 21. And that is our scoreboard update brought to you by Gobundance. Anything about college football today that stands out to you, Double R?
Zay, I got to tell you, just from a Texas, a guy that covers Texas and is a Texas football fan and everything that we've done here with the Burnt Orange all these years. I mean, what a better way to cap the day, right? Here's A&M doing what they did, this amazing comeback. And look, man, you want to talk about gritty performance, and we like to talk shit about A&M and all this, that, and the other. But Mike Elko has got something happening over there for them to come back. And if somebody's going to tell me, well, it was South Carolina, I don't care if you're down 30-3 to I don't know, you name a high school team. If you're able to come back from 30-3 and win 31-30, that's a pretty damn good little thing to pull off right there. But you have that, and then here's Oklahoma going to T-Town and beating Alabama, and then you just watched what we watched, and it's like, God damn, man. What's worse? The onside kick or that? Yeah. Man, it's like, man, and say this is where we go back to it, to where we've been talking about it all week on the network. Everything's right in front of you. It's still right there, and it would be one thing if you go out here and you lose this game 27-24, and it's just a hell of a performance, but you go out there and you get manhandled like that, man. It's yeah, playoffs. I don't even care about that anymore. I mean, now,
neither do I.
Yeah,
I'm over it.
Yeah,
I'm over it. I'm very disappointed and sad just because all the hype and expectation, even though it was a bit much and exaggerated, especially with the Arch Manning talk. This team losing to Florida, who fired their coach and only has 3 wins this year. You should be beating the hell out of Kentucky. You should be beating the hell out of Mississippi State. I understand the SEC is the SEC, but games like that is foreshadowing for how good you really are when you play against these quality teams.
Right.
And Oklahoma was a big win. It was a huge win, especially since Oklahoma seems like they're going to get in the college football playoff, especially when they go on to beat Missouri and LSU, which those games, they could get testy, but you beat Alabama, you're in a really good spot. But yeah, like just all the adversity this Texas team had, it felt like it could have been avoided in a way. And this coaching staff, like I said earlier in the show, they just, when it comes to evaluating this roster, they missed.
Yep.
Especially on the offensive side. I think on the secondary, the whole Jalen Gilbo moving to the outside corner, I think that was a miss. Like, Jalen Gilbo plays hard, but doesn't mean he necessarily plays well all the time. So, yeah, tough. 2025 year for Texas football, tough. But, hey, the show must go on. You got Arkansas next week. You beat A&M. Some people think that's a good season, but I ain't them people. So A&M's cool and all, but you should have beat Florida. That's for sure. Wow.
Yeah, well, and with A&M today, I mean, with that win today, I mean, this really would have derailed them if they hadn't been able to come back from this, because they have, who do they have next week? They have one of them, like Howard
tomato can, rum roast.
Yeah.
I don't care who they have. It's not.
Yeah. So they OU and I saw like OU's college football playoff percentage went up to like 58%, with that win. So I mean, that's all settled right there. So yeah, I guess that is what's left to do this year, is to go spoil A&M's fun after the expectations that you had going into this season. And that's what's and you're right. And I know we'll have offensive player of the game and so forth, and we'll talk about plays of the game and everything. But look, Arch Manning was nails again, and people are going to say, nails? What do you mean nails? The dude didn't have any help. I mean, your coaching staff abandoned the running game, didn't want to expand the playbook. Guys couldn't hold on to anything. I mean, that dude was still out there making plays. That guy was making as many plays as he could. And now that has been something to really watch, that progress that he has made after those expectations that were so far out of reach for him. And to watch him like on the touchdown play where he looks off 2 different receivers and then boom, just zings that thing right across there. That right there, that's the progress that you're looking for out of that guy. So that I will give a good nod to where, okay, at least that is working. But a lot of that is just that natural talent, that ability is finally a lot more comfortable in the skin that he's in right now.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get to the Clean Calls offensive player of the game. Clean Calls. Our friends at Clean Calls have been on a mission to energize lives with a purpose by crafting a refreshing, better for you sparkling urban mate that just gives you a better feel and caffeine boost without the crash. And beyond energy, the brand is built on impact. 50% of the profits fund addiction recovery, housing, scholarships, and they give every sip a greater purpose. So, hey, buy your Clean Calls now, because every time you do, it gets donated for a greater cause. And $3.8 million has been donated to the community. So it's just absolutely amazing. And they keep on blowing up. 0 calories, zero sugar. The strawberry lemonade, absolutely on point. Plus, they got new packaging. So everything just pops about Clean Calls. So you can find that at your local grocery stores. You can go to cleancalls.com, convenience stores around town. Check out Clean Calls. All right, Double R, which appreciate you, my man, X Del Clown, Def Clown X, Def Clown X. Appreciate for that $5, man. Watching me crash out. Like, if $5 is worth me crashing out, then hey, we'll take it.
Zay would have done it for free. Zay was
Yeah,
going to do it
I'll
for free.
crash out for free over this freaking team. Good grief, man. But Double R, who's your Clean Calls offensive player of the game?
I mean, you got to go with Arch.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was him. I mean, because and he was doing everything that he could on the sideline, and that's where I like the maturation process that we watched with him, where he's not on the sideline sitting by himself or doing all that shit anymore. He's sitting there trying to rally his team together. I think he needs to go put his foot in the ass of his offensive linemen, because they're getting this guy killed. I mean, they're absolutely getting this guy killed. And I mean, that's really the only option that I have. I mean, I think if we'd have run the ball, or if Texas would have run the ball a little bit more, I think maybe Trey Wisner would have possibly been somebody that you could have leaned to. But other than Arch Manning, and Wingo finally overcame a little bit right there in the third quarter. But I mean, it's Arch, and really that's it, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Like, I'm with Arch Manning too. Like, I don't know who else you would find. Like, Brian Wingo, yeah, he had a touchdown, but those drops were huge. Like, again, if you score on that first drive, it's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5, whatever. Brian Wingo on that mesh drag route that I feel like he drops every single time. If it's a slant or a mesh route where he's cutting across the middle for one of those short passes, he does not catch that. I don't know why he can't catch it. I don't know, because you have to like turn your hands. Like, you're running and you have to turn your hands like this to catch it. That's jugs machine shit.
Yep.
Like, that's where you fake like you're running, catch, jugs machine. Fake like you're running, catch, jugs machine. Like, this is routine elementary shit that like he just can't do. And this was before, like, you can't use the thumb injury as a, reason to blame, because he was doing this before, dropping these passes when the thumb was straight. So I again, he redeemed himself, had a good, catch on 3rd down where I think it was 3rd and 13 or something like that, or 3rd and 8. It was something crazy where they went back-to-back screen passes for Wingo, didn't go anywhere. And then he called a pass where he got hit pretty good, but got some air on it. But yeah, Arch Manning, what else do you want from him? He stays in the pocket. The dude gets absolutely creamed. He knows he's going to get creamed because this offensive line is so freaking flaky. And he's just putting balls on the money. Like, yeah, there's some plays where he might have overthrown a guy. There was that drag route, or there was that crossing route by DeAndre Moore and Kurt Herbstreit. He painted the picture very well. But he should have threw it more to the sideline. Instead, he threw it more.
Yeah,
vertical.
that's right. Yeah.
That was probably the pass where you're like, you definitely want to get that one back. But other than that, the dude went 27 for 43. It should have been 31 for 43 because they dropped like 4 big time catches. And yeah, he's been trying to do everything he can. Like, you can't question Arch Manning's heart. You can't question his toughness. Those things are there. He's gotten better with his mechanics and his fundamentals throwing the football. And for a guy that just had all the weight on his shoulders coming into the season where he really struggled, not only physically, but mentally, he's came a long way in his, just progressions and production. And I got to salute him for that, because his position, it's not easy. They kept showing Peyton in the stands and stuff. Like, the dude has a lot on him, and he's gotten better, and he's put his team in positions to win games and try to get in the college football playoff. And I can't say, from the coaches to his teammates, everybody, they're just not helping him like they should be. That's unfortunate.
Not at all. And I caught myself during the game, remember the first part of the year when he's throwing all these sidearm passes, and it's like, oh, there's got to be something wrong with him. It's got to be a shoulder. I mean, he's throwing all these sidearm. Man, he slung that one sidearm pass, and I'm like, yeah. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I don't like this guy throwing sidearm, but that one was really nice, right? He really has. He's developed, and he's really starting to get into that mold. And I'd heard some discussion during the week to where it's like, okay, with Arch Manning, it looks like when you get to next season, that's when he'll maybe hit some of those plateaus that were being talked about at the beginning of this year. And it's like, not with this supporting cast next year. If he's got this supporting cast, it's going to be just as bad as it is right now.
Yeah, you have to go in the portal for the offensive line. That's a must. I think that's the number one point of emphasis in the offseason, going in the portal and just finding guys that you could rely on, experienced guys, and trying to acclimate them into your system as quick as possible. Because, DJ Campbell, he's off to the league. Travis Gooseby, he needs to come back. Cole Hudson, he's off, I don't know, to the league, but he's graduating. Kyler Robinson's coming back. So it'll be a completely different offensive line. The running backs, they all have to come back. Travion Wisner, you would have thought this was a contract year for him coming into this season. He hasn't been good enough. He hasn't been healthy enough. CJ Baxter, he still needs another year to get right with his injury. So I still think this wide receiver crew could be good. I do. I think if DeAndre Moore, he's not good enough to go to the league. Like, I'm not with that, even though this is a contract year for him. Like, I think you could bring back all 4 wide receivers. Emmett Mosley, I like him. I like his upside. And Ryan Wingo, if he could catch the ball, he'd be amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he's too inconsistent with these drops, man. If you want to be a wide receiver one, you cannot drop passes at the volume that Ryan Wingo drops passes, man.
Well, and Zay, I saw some stats during the week where it was talking about, Arch's passing efficiency when he's under pressure or under a blitz, or, versus when he's not. And it's like, he's much more effective when he's under pressure. It's like, because that's all the time.
All the time.
All the time. I mean, the dude's running for his life, and he's done a really good job to where he doesn't kind of have like that CJ Stroud thing, to where CJ Stroud can sense that he's about to get hit when he's really not, and it makes him make a mistake. Arch doesn't do that. Yeah. But the more that he continues to get hit, you're going to go right down that road.
Before we get to the defensive player of the game by Kenfield Golf Cars, let me just point this out for you on the difference between Steve Sarkisian and Kirby Smart. Mookie Taft misses a few games. Texas defense loses a ton. Now, they didn't look great tonight in the secondary, but I'm going to give more credit to Georgia than I am to Texas, than more, knock on Texas, even though Texas made a lot of mistakes tonight. But Mookie Taft not being available, you could tell Texas takes a huge step back defensively. C.J. Allen, Georgia's best defensive player, linebacker, goes out in the second half tonight. Did you see any fall off, Rodney?
Nope.
Zero fall off.
Zay, if anything, they look better.
And if anything, they look better, right?
Right. I'm like, shit.
Shit. That's difference, right? That's coaching. That's difference. That's a huge difference on coaching level. And there's levels to this. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I mean, hey, it is what it is. But all right, let's get to the defensive player of the game, brought to you by Kenfield Golf Cars. If you are in the market for a new or pre-owned golf cart, we got great news for you. Our friends at Kenfield Golf Cars, right around the corner, founded in 1979. They have an unparalleled selection of new and pre-owned golf carts, used golf carts that just are absolutely amazing. No deal is too big. No deal is too small for Kenfield. If you want to bring in an existing golf cart or you want to trick it out, get all the gadgets and just upgrade your existing golf cart, you could do that. Or if you want to start from scratch, build your own golf cart from the ground up, Kenfield can do that too. Nobody does it better than Kenfield Golf Cars. Check out their website at kenfieldgolfcars.com or give them a call at 512-258-8515 and tell them that Texas Sports Unfiltered sent you. Double R, your player of the game on the defensive side, brought to you by Kenfield Golf Cars.
Zay, you know what? Anthony Hill and Colin Simmons were I mean, great. I mean, they always are. And now, you know, Colin Simmons today was just, I mean, unbelievable tonight. I mean, in a night of lowlights, I mean, that dude was like all-American status that you expect. But I'm actually going to go with Ty Anthony Smith, man. That dude, 9 tackles. He had 5 TFLs. It was a solid night for him. 6 solo tackles, and the dude was making plays. And that's, again, that's one of those guys where when you have the star power that you have on the offense, it's guys like that are right there ready to make a play, and they make them. So those top 2 guys were incredible, but every time you look around, there's Smith. There's Smith making a play. So I'm going with Ty Anthony Smith to kind of buck the. I mean, tonight's pretty simple, to be honest with you, when we're doing this.
Right.
But, just kind of trying to throw a little a positive thing in there on a very freaking negative late night here in Austin, Texas.
For sure. I'm right there with you. I'm going to go with Ty Anthony Smith, who I challenged this past week because I didn't think him or Leon Lafau have played good football in those last 2 games against Mississippi State and Vanderbilt. And it seemed like Ty Anthony Smith, more than anybody, was all over the field, delivering the boom. He had some big-time, hard-hitting plays where you feel really good about 26. And it's interesting because I still think Leon Lafau hasn't been as good as he was his sophomore year, which is very odd. I don't know why that would be a thing, because you expect guys to get better every single year they're on campus, especially as they age with the more experience in football that they've seen. But for Leon Lafau, I don't think that's necessarily been the case. Ty Anthony Smith, really good bounce back game. I feel like Michael Taft was a big help for that because of just his communications and talking to help somebody like Ty Anthony Smith, which when it comes to see ball, get ball, he's money. I think for him and just him improving next season, he's got to be better with his coverage at that linebacker position, especially when number 0 goes into the NFL draft. So, yeah, Ty Anthony Smith, I'm good with that. Double R, Kenfield Golf Cars, defensive player of the game. Ty Anthony Smith for both of us.
Nice.
All right. He is Rodney Rodriguez. I am Zay Collier. The Horns go down 35-10 to Georgia tonight. Let's get to the offensive play of the game, brought to you by Paul's Motorworks. Paul's Motorworks. They've been providing complete foreign and domestic automotive repair since the year 2000. That is a long time, and they're the best in the business. They specialize in Porsches, Volkswagen, Mini Coupes, BMWs, Mercedes-Benz, but it doesn't stop there. You can bring any vehicle to Paul's, and they will hook you up. Whatever make, whatever model, it doesn't matter, from oil changes to tire rotations to any type of major repairs. Don't trust anybody with your car. Trust the guys that do it the best, and that's at Paul's Motor Works. You're finding a great mechanic shouldn't be difficult, and it's not. If you go to Paul's, they got a ton in there. Just go see Paul and the team right off of 2222 and 620. If you want to find more information, go online to pmwaustin.com. Double R, your offensive play of the game, brought to you by Paul's Motorworks.
Zay, man, I really, I was sitting here planning for the show before the game ever started, just kind of breaking down keys to the win, and I'm like, we're gonna have a lot of offense tonight. There are gonna be so many different plays that we're going to be pulling stuff from, and I was thinking of all the different people that were going to be involved with this. I guess there's only really one, right? The Wingo touchdown. I mean, that was. I mean, it was again a great play by Arch, a great bounce back by Wingo to be able to. And that's when I really thought. I really thought that the game was at a point to where Texas really was going to be able to seize an opportunity to dig themselves back into it. And then you sit there and you let Kirby just make you look like a bitch. He just makes you look like a bitch, man. What? A minute later. But yeah, it's got to be, and I'm glad for Wingo because it was he was having one hell of a rough night. So at least with that, to be able to bounce back and actually able to snare in the touchdown and give some hope because despite everything that had gone on to that point, it was 14-10.
And 14-10.
Yeah,
it's 14. You feel good. You feel good. I'm sure every Texas fan felt great. Like it's 14-10. You've had 7 penalties in the first half. You can't establish any running game. You're down 14-3. It seems like all hell's breaking loose. And you get within 4, and then all of a sudden it's just the absolute stampede by Georgia. And they put up what? 21 unanswered. 21 unanswered after that. So yeah, I'm gonna. This is sad, man. I can't believe I'm making this my offensive player of the game because it just shows how little offense was. But the 3rd and 13 on that same drive, Ryan Wingo caught the touchdown where you got a pass interference call on Ryan Niblett. That's a huge play. Because again, 3rd and 13, where do you go from there? Arch Manning just got sacked. Like it looks like you might only put up 3. At least you're giving yourself a chance by Arch making that throw in traffic and allowing Ryan Niblett to get held. So that happens. Very next play, Ryan Wingo slant for the touchdown. Big plays of the game. It should have been bigger, but we know what happens next. So, yeah, that was my sad offensive play of the game, brought to you by Paul's Motor Works. Let's get to the defensive play of the game, brought to you by Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill. Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill takes you back to a place where it was just a simpler time. Comfortable, relaxed, easygoing, familiar. Moonshine, they greet guests like family. So if you want an innovative take on classic American comfort food, Moonshine is the place for you. Fantastic dinner, amazing weekend brunch, 20 years and counting of just doing it big here in the ATX, downtown location, amazing. Avery Ranch location, also amazing. So you got a Moonshine near you. Go check them out. Go online, moonshinegrill.com for more information or to make a reservation. Double R, your defensive play of the game brought to you by Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill.
Zay, my brother, it's got to be hands down the Ant Hill interception, and not just because it kind of turned the tide there a little bit and kind of gave that hope and kind of started a little bit of a run right there for Texas, but just the way that he did it. I mean, you see that dude go up and grab that thing? Yeah. I mean, and just the play that he made where he starts going one direction, then he shifts the other direction in the middle of the coverage and skies up to grab that, man. And that's where I think the tenacity that he has on defense, the true athletic ability that this guy has goes a little under the radar sometimes. And that was a great example of it right there. That dude was up in the air to grab that thing and pull that down. And it really did kind of set a tone there where it gave that little bit of an opportunity where Texas could have got back into this thing. But then again, we've already chronicled what happened after that, but got to be that, man. It was just a superb play at a really good time that gave an opportunity to maybe get back into the contest.
Yeah, because right after that play, that's when Texas is on that drive and scores with the Ryan Wingo touchdown. And shout out to Ant Hill, man, because the NFL scouts, they gotta love the improvement that he's had with his coverage ability.
Yep.
Think about him as a freshman, his coming out party against Alabama, where his responsibilities, they weren't that extreme. You're a freshman, you don't want to put too much on the guy. You got Jalen Ford already, who was a Big 12 All-American. So for Ant Hill, it was more see ball, get ball. And he had to work on becoming a better linebacker, not just a good football player. And he's done those things with his interception against Kentucky and then tonight. So, it sucks because this is his last year at Texas. Like, most likely he's going to be a first round pick. I think he's going to perform really well at Pro Day and at the Combine. But it sucks because you want that guy to go out with some hardware.
Yeah.
All he's known up to this point is being in the college football playoff. His first 2 years, freshman, sophomore, you're in the Final Four of the college football playoff, and you expect this season to get right back there to give yourself an opportunity. And that just doesn't seem like the case with Texas dropping their third loss today. So shout out to Zero, man. Like, he's done a hell of a job this season. I saw that he got hurt. I hope he's okay to play in these next 2 games. But the dude's a warrior. The dude plays his heart out. He's super athletic, and it's just unfortunate that there's not more guys like Ant Hill on this defense. So
Zay, that dude makes that catch, and I'm like, can he play offense? Can we move him over tonight?
Yeah. Can we put him at tight end? Shit.
You need somebody that can catch a ball.
The tight ends are so bad. I'm so disappointed with the tight ends.
And like you said, it's so big of a part in Sark's offense. Never more evident than the last 2 years. And I was so high on Jake Hendricks coming over. I'm like, man, I like that. That's going. But hell, every time you turn around, he's not even in the game.
Yeah.
Like where is he?
Who knows what they paid him? Who knows what they paid Jack Hendricks? He had 3 catches for 9 yards tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the final word, brought to you by Sue Patrick for the best selection of Texas Longhorn gear. Friends at Sue Patrick, they are the best. Located off of 5222 and Burnett Road. Go online to SuePatrick.com also, so you can see everything you need to rep your Longhorns all season long, from polos to jerseys, grilling accessories, golf balls, hats, and plenty more. They got all your Texas Longhorn gear that will satisfy your burnt orange heart. So they'll visit Sue Patrick. They got free parking. The parking lot's gigantic. If you go online and shop at Sue Patrick and spend over $59, you get free shipping. You can't beat that. So check out our friends at Sue Patrick. Final word, Double R, for Texas lost against Georgia 35-10.
Should we give our final word and just start talking like Sark? We got to play better. Yeah, we got to get better in these situations. I see all the chatter about the officials. Yeah, I get it. I mean, there were calls missed. I mean, there's always going to be calls missed, but and a lot of times games can hinge on that. That wasn't the case tonight. You just came out, the better team won. Like we said at the beginning of the postgame show, this team got out-coached, got beat in every phase of the game. And I think at this point, what you need to focus on if you're a Texas fan is put this one in the rearview mirror. I mean, we'll hash it all up on Monday and then start moving forward, because our Arkansas wants to kick your ass. I mean, they really do. And the whole thing with A&M, if you're going to call a good season ruining theirs, no, you're not ruining theirs, because they today probably punched the ticket into something that Texas thought that they were going to be doing this year, but are not going to be doing. So I think you just have to finish with a sprint, I guess is what I'll say, because there's lots of holes to fix. And just when you thought that was going in the right direction, you revert right back to exactly where you were about 6 or 7 weeks ago. And that's disappointing. That's disappointing. As a football fan of this program, I just expected more. I just expected a hell of a lot more than this.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a lost season. I think it's a disappointing season. You have way too much talent on these teams. You're paying way too much money to these players. You're getting paid way too much money as coaches for the product to be what it is right now. To be 2 for 12 on third downs, to only have 23 rushing yards, to have 9 penalties for 58 yards, and try to call yourself a college football playoff team. You just can't do that. You can't get exposed the way that you got exposed tonight. And it's unsettling, the performance that we saw from this Texas football team. Kirby Smart, that guy is just an absolute dog, man, an absolute menace. That guy he gets it. He gets his guys. He gets his coaching staff. He understands the SEC. He understands what it takes. And Steve Sarkisian, he's trying to reach that. He really is. And I still think that Sark is the guy, but I think there's going to have to be some serious changes if Sark wants to get this team over the mountaintop, whether that's the coaches around him, whether that's the personnel, starting with the offensive line. You heard me just questioning the tight ends, the running backs have taken a step back. Everything on this offensive side is a struggle. Arch Manning's the only thing you feel good about right now, which is ironic because it was the opposite the first few months of the year. Like everything else,
was the problem. Yeah, he was the problem.
So, I mean, hey, all you could do is buckle them chin straps up tight, get past Arkansas, see what you could do with A&M, and try to have any type of positivity with this season. But again, with what you saw today from the rest of college football, Oklahoma winning, Notre Dame winning, it's just going to be very hard for a team that's lost 3 games, especially you made this point, Double R, with the way they lost today. Like if you lose by 3, if it's a single-digit game and you beat Arkansas and A&M, you might be given a little bit of grace. You got your ass whooped tonight. So getting just straight up curb stomped, it's going to be easier for the committee to say, yeah, this team, that's just not it. That's just not worth putting in the college football playoff over maybe a team that lost twice in the Big 12 or whatever the hell's going on.
And the thing is, Zay, it was sorry to interrupt you, but I'll forget if I don't say this. But it was like the whole tale of the season has been like here coming up until up to this game tonight, where Texas had put themselves in a position to be in that discussion, and yet in doing that, they had gotten a lot of help from other people, from other teams that had put themselves in a bad position to afford them the opportunity to be in that conversation. Well, today all the cards fell in the totally wrong direction, and Texas just veered completely left. And it's a done deal. Yeah. It's a done deal. Salvage what you got left of the year and move on and make a lot of changes. A lot of changes.
It's going to be an interesting offseason. That's for sure. A very interesting offseason. But, hey, appreciate everybody for rocking with us here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. Y'all are the best. Shout out to all of our sponsors and everybody that allows us to do what we do. I'm sure I can speak for Double R when I say we love this, man. Even though it's late and Texas took the L tonight, it's still fun coming on here and chopping it up with y'all and talking the pigskin, man, because it's still a beautiful game. It's fun. Like it's everything. Sports is everything for, our livelihood and what we do. So again, even on these tough days, I still got a smile on my face because y'all help with that and y'all give us a platform to just come on here and perform for y'all. And it's a very special thing. So, again, appreciate everybody. BK, our dog, founder of Texas Sports Unfiltered. Listen to all the shows here on TSU starting Monday morning. We have an amazing team at Texas Sports Unfiltered. But, yeah, we got to get out of here tonight. The Texas Longhorns go down to the Georgia Bulldogs in Athens, 35-10. They are now 7-3 overall, 4-2 in SEC play. He is Double R Rodney Rodriguez. I am Zay Collier. Y'all be cool.